Hi, I'm Ryan Gass and I'm the owner of Dream Digs. We are a local realty company here in Louisville. We help people buy and sell houses every day. Let's take a look at this month's real estate market data so that when you're ready to buy or sell a home, you have the best information at your disposal. Let's flip over to the computer screen and have a look.
Hey there, and welcome to the computer screen. Let's take a look, first of all, as always, at our long-term data here over the last 20 years. First up, we will take a look at the number of homes sold. These are residential properties here in the greater Louisville area on a monthly basis. So on our left-hand side, we have the number of properties that sold and our long-term data set here over the last 20 years. Our blue line represents that number on a monthly basis. So for example, if I hovered my mouse over here on June of 2016, we can see that we sold 1,888 properties during that month. And so you can see where we last left off here. December 2018 was 1,261 properties. Essentially what we're trying to get out of this chart here is where we stand in terms of, long-term data. Since real estate is kind of a slow-moving beast, it's good to plug in every so often, which we do here once a quarter, and just kind of see where things, how things are trending. So what I get out of this chart here is the fact that the low numbers each passing year have been increasingly rising. Okay, and so that means we continue to be in a seller's market. Essentially, that's one of the keys that kind of tells us where we stand. So when the lows continue rising, that means we are in a rising market. Okay. However, the highs have not been rising over the last 4 years with any significance, right? If you compare the last 4 years versus, say, 2011 through 2015, where we just had these huge jumps in number of homes being sold on a monthly basis, as far as the high watermark goes, that was a rapidly rising market. This is a, I guess, solid market, but definitely not rapidly rising. So just something to bear in mind. And of course, on all of our charts, this red dotted line represents the average of the blue line. Okay, so it helps us understand how that long-term trend line is trending. Is it, on average going up or down? Okay, next chart we'll look at is average sold price. Average sold price in the greater Louisville area has steadily been rising over the last 2 years at least. If you want to get technical about it, it's been rising for like the last 6 or 7 years in a row. But we have been and remain above long-term trend line. So that's an important takeaway from this chart. And in 2018, I believe it was June 2018, July 2018, somewhere in there, we hit yet another all-time high, head and shoulders above even last year, which I thought, in 2017, I didn't think we would see much improvement over that moving forward, but I was wrong. On that note, we definitely blew that out of the water. So average sold price continues to rise, or at least it did in 2018. That means only one thing, and that we're in a seller's market, have been, continue to be, and until I see something change on this trend line, I have no reason to believe that that's going to change anytime soon. Next chart, average CDOM. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so average CDOM is short for continual days on market. How long does a property sit on the market in the greater Louisville area on average before it goes under contract? Okay, that's different from before it actually gets sold, because that is kind of a question mark. But before it goes under contract, so the amount of time it takes from when a property is listed until it goes under contract, what is that answer? What has that number been looking like? Certainly over the last few years here, we can see that it has rapidly been decreasing. So properties are selling more and more quickly with each passing year than they did the year before. Now that variance is getting a little bit tighter here, so the swings that we're seeing from highs to lows are tightening up here. Obviously, a market can only bear so much before it stagnates and or starts to turn the other way. But nevertheless, we can see here over the last couple of years that we've been holding firm between this 45 and 65, 70 day mark for CDOM. So that's very fast, especially when you compare it to years prior where a property sat on the market 100, 120 days on average before it went under contract. So that's a good thing to look at there. Let's now move over to the last 1 year's worth of data to kind of zoom in and kind of see what happened over the year of 2018. So we can see here over the last year, this black trend line shows us the number of sold listings, okay, and that increased over the course of the year. So you can see where we started here in January and where we ended up in December. Basically, that was a rising trend line over the 12-month period there. Same thing for average sale price. It went up a little bit over the course of a year. Okay, and then our days on market, continues to remain kind of like where we were at on the long-term trend line over the last year or two. We're nice and tucked in here between this 45 and 60 day time slot here, and that's just a very strong number if you're looking to get a property sold, assuming of course you're in good comparable condition and priced right in comparison to the other properties that are for sale or have sold in your neighborhood. Okay, if we look at some of the raw data here, average sale price in the greater Louisville area for residential properties, you can see here 2018 year to date we ended up at about $219,000. Compare that to 2017, so the year prior, and you can see that we had a 5% increase year over year. Pretty healthy numbers there. Okay. The other and final data point that we'll look at here is sold listings in price, various price categories. Okay, so we've seen these huge drops in the number of properties sold sub 140K or so. Double digits basically across the board. This trend has been going on for a number of years now, and basically what you've got going on there is with interest rates remaining low from a historical standpoint. I realize that they've risen here in the last few months, but from a historical standpoint, interest rates remaining low means that more people can afford to buy houses and better, bigger, pricier houses than they could in the past. And so that's why you're seeing more properties being sold in this, say 200K price range up to 500K or so. You're seeing an increase in those properties being sold. Simultaneously, let us not forget that we have throngs of baby boomers retiring with each year. We're right in the meat and potatoes of baby boomers retiring, and we'll see that trend continue for a number of years to come. And so as a result, you've got a lot of folks looking to downsize in these upper price range categories. They're looking to downsize into smaller houses, patio homes, ranch style houses, things of that nature. So you got a lot of activity going on for those reasons, and there you go. Hope that helps. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions, let me know.